Right, welcome back to the podcast. Got Matt Simons on with me today, an ex-Marine, and obviously SAS Australia is on at the minute.
Yeah.
I've been asking you so many questions.
Yeah, all the way through.
Literally, so I thought, why not put it on a podcast and hear the thoughts. So, I think, obviously we're mates, but something that's like fascinated me about you is your mindset. Like it's like bulletproof in my opinion. Like it's mad, and I think that's come from the Marine.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
100%, mate.
Like, talk to me about like the process of deciding you want to go into the Marines. What made you do it?
Yeah. So for me, like the reason I joined, obviously from school, it was always drilled into me because my dad was in the Navy.
Yeah.
So he would push me to that direction. So the original plan was for me to join the Navy. I was never really gave 100% in school.
Yeah.
It was sort of like, as I grew up, like I knew I wanted to leave the sort of town I was in, sort of move on and do something. And yeah, my old man was in the Navy, so I was like, right, I'll give that a crack when I'm sick. As soon as I finish school, I'll go off, I'll do the whole careers test, give that a go, see how we get on. When I got to the careers office, did an engineer test, which you have to score quite a high percent.
Yeah.
And then the guy in there was like, look, you're not quite smart enough for the Navy, but you're dumb enough for the Marines.
Yeah. Is that what he said?
Yeah, he literally was like, mate, he's like, look, you had to score like 80, it was quite high, because I think my old man was like, they called him a stoker, so he was like an engineer, so he was like, you had to score like 85%, I think I got like 78 or something like that.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, you're not quite there yet, but yeah, you're probably dumb enough for the Marines, mate, so give that a go.
And what age was this?
This was literally, I think I was 15 and 10 months, something like that, I think.
Fucking hell.
So I took that test before I even left. I think I was leaving school. I can't remember what age you leave school, but so yeah, I did that. Went literally. So he was like, try the Marines, and obviously at the time when you're in school, you think like, fuck, Marines.
Yeah. 100%.
Nah.
I think that now.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, 100%.
Marines. I was like, all I could think back to, like, my dad told me a story about them in the Falklands in the 80s, and just what fucking hard bastards they were and all that. So I was just like, oh, I don't know about this. Anyway, went home. Literally sat down with my dad and my stepmom at the time, and we just sat there for like half an hour looking for like the Marines website, and we're just like, do you know what? Fuck it, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Why not? What have I got to lose? If I fail, I'll try something else.
100%. So then, like from that, where's your? Obviously, you said like your mindset changed when you was going into the Marines. Or was you just like a normal lad, like back in the day?
Normal lad back in the day, like went out with mates, so. It's quite funny, so when I actually first went into the Marines, you sort of, obviously you go through the whole process, you have to pass like a 3-day course maybe? Yeah, PRMC is called, Potential Royal Marines course. So the careers office loads you onto that, and then from there...
What does that entail?
It's like just a load of fitness tests,
yeah.
And then they sort of give you a number, and if you like impress them and do well.
Yeah.
I think I did quite well on the fitness side of it. So you just sort of, if you smash that out, they'll then invite you. I think I had to wait 3 months, and then they invite you onto training. But yeah, when I got into training, I remember jumping forward a bit. But after 3 weeks, you go home for the first time. And obviously, I was only 16.
Yeah.
And then I've come home, and all my mates are still on the streets.
Yeah.
And that was a mad feeling, because I was just like. I got home and I was like, do you know what, I'm not going to come home again.
Did you think like, at that point, that's like a massive like you obviously outgrow people in your life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's just like, was it just that like 3 weeks in?
Click. Yeah, that was a click, like, because you had like a family's day 3 weeks in, and then you go home, and I think I literally spent 2 days at home, and all my mates are still like out on the street.
Yeah.
I was just like, do you know what, I was like, from this point I was like, I'm not going to come home through training.
Yeah,
I'm just going to fully focus my mind on getting this done.
Yeah.
Coming out the other end and then seeing where we're at from there.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I pretty much stayed on camp most weekends up until that point.
So obviously, with the Marines, it's like one of the most difficult training you can go through, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, talk to me through that, because
for me, like everyone has their own opinions on different sort of forces, but for me, like the Marines is one of the most hardest 9 months and a course that you will complete.
Yeah.
Like they're known as like the world's greatest fighters. Like,
yeah.
I know people say things about the Paras and the Marines and all this rivalry and stuff. But for me, I know it's biased, but
yeah,
I think the Marines is the greatest fighters force in this world.
Because you see like you see on SAS, like you got like Ant Middleton and Foxy and that just shouting, screaming in people's faces. How similar is that to real life, completely. Or is that dulled down a little bit?
It's completely how it is. Like I remember, so you rock up on your first day, and you're obviously in a suit, and you get off the train station. As you get off that train, imagine Ant Middleton, you have someone like that in your face, screaming at you, get the fuck, and within so every bloke turns up and you're at the top, you're in a suit doing press ups. It's like that. So it is just like there's no time for that 9 months. You have no time to think. It's just it's 100 miles an hour. It's just bang all the time, and that was how it was from the off. See, that is for people that come away and then come join the Marines and then they have that straight away. It's a massive shock.
I think that's mental. With that, like people getting off that train, there must be people straight away that their wheel breaks and they're like, no.
100%. So from literally on your day one, you're being shouted at this and that. You're sort of trying to find your bearings, whilst getting obviously screamed at. And then I don't know if it's on the first day or what. I'm pretty sure it's the first day. But you go into a room. I think it's around 60 to 80 of you in a troop at the start. And then you go into a room and you basically swear an oath to the Queen. And you'd all put your hand up and say, look, we're going to do this. At that point, the troop I was in, 3 lads were like, nah.
Really?
They'll basically say look, if you want to quit, now's your chance. If you think this ain't for you already, 3 lads are like, because it's that mental shock of going from a civilian street to then putting yourself in that military mindset and then just having someone scream at your face.
But obviously, you're 16 at this time. How common was you the youngest in your troop?
I was the youngest. I don't think there was another 16-year-old. I think the oldest after me was 18 or 19.
Fucking hell. So how did you deal with that? Because you're still a boy then. Do you know what I mean? You ain't really making your own decisions. How do you think, no, fuck it, I'm here to stay? What?
I think my mindset, I was quite lucky in the fact that because I was so young, I don't know whether it was naivety or whether it was because I was straight out of school, nothing really fazed me too much. I just head down, just got on with it. Whereas I can understand if you're say 25, 24, been out in the big wide world, been around, had a few jobs, then join the Marines and then have someone shout in your face.
I know. Tell me.
It's just because I'd be like that. I remember towards the end, you'd bounce back, you'd argue back, or
You
wouldn't
I bet that didn't go down well, did it?
No, not at the time. But
so obviously, you're going through this 9 months of training. You went straight through, innit?
So you have so it's around 60 to 80 of you start, and then as you go through the process of the Marines, I think a troop joins every 2 weeks. So then you'll a new troop will come in, and you just keep. I think I was 985 at the time, and then obviously 986 and 987 just keeps rolling on. And if you don't meet certain criteria throughout the training, you'll then get either back trooped, you get another chance at it, and then if you don't meet it again, you go back and back. So you lose blokes as you go through. Like I said, we lost 3 at the start.
So it's sort of like the elimination process on SAS as well. People can do they ever just walk up to someone and just this ain't for you, mate? Pretty
much. It'll be a case of if you're not good enough, like the show, they'll ping you out. Obviously in the show they'll probably boot you out. But they'll be like, look, you need to go back X amount of weeks. Say if they got to week 20 of training, and they've just done one of their final exercises, they'll be like, you need to go and do Z to get back up to scratch because you're just not at this level yet.
Fucking hell.
So so lads can get back trooped and back trooped and back trooped. I know the rule used to be 3 and then you were gone, but I think it'd be a little bit beneficial if you're a good bloke. But
what was for me being in troop? What is the worst bit about the training? Because you obviously see people getting tear gassed on telly and whatever.
See, that's the worst part, but it's also the funny side of it. You do it quite early on. I remember doing it. My memory's jogged now, but I know you do it quite early on. But for me, that was it was horrible when you're in there. You take your respirator off. Same sort of sketch as the show. It's literally then you have to. Basically, I think there's about 4 of you in there at a time, and everyone's outside laughing as you come out.
Because they see you in a right state.
On the floor, So I think 4 of you going in at a time, and then you have to take your respirator off. But you have to try and speak and say I am Corporal, I am Recruit Simons. Say my number, but you can't. You're like. And then in the end, they'll just do what they do on the show and just fucking launch out to get the fuck out of this sort of thing.
And then you just watch
and
everyone
then you
else
just watch
come out.
everyone come crawl out. So that's like, it's hard, that's the funny side of it. But
Yeah.
for me, the hard side of it was the sleep deprivation, and like,
Yeah.
you'd probably do after your phase. So phase 1 was up to week 15. So that was like the more basic soldier side of things.
Yeah.
All the basic drills, like all the things that got you up to scratch to be a soldier. Then week 15 to 32 was like more arduous sort of training.
Yeah.
Like going out in the field a lot more operations, missions, and just
Yeah.
building you up to be that Marine. And yeah, I just remember just the lack of sleep on some exercises, because you got an exercise and you'd be in Dartmoor for say 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And you'd barely sleep for that 2 weeks, you know, and you'd be yomping miles across the Dartmoor plains, and that was just, for me, that was a struggle. And then, yeah, like same as the show, you'd do all that yomping, sorry, it's like marching with your burden on your heavyweight.
Yeah.
You'd do all that, and then towards the end of it, someone would come and interrogate you. And obviously when you've had a lack of sleep and you're sort of hallucinating and things like that, it can take a massive toll.
100%. Like,
I remember being there, like a little boy just shaking. Like, I remember the corporal going to me, "What are you fucking shaking?" I'm like, just you couldn't control it.
Yeah.
Your body shut down and someone's screaming.
and obviously that's to prepare you for if you do.
For any sort of situation, yeah, because you could be out, like say past Marines, you could be out in a war zone, and obviously if you got captured and interrogated and you're in that situation where you are, lack of sleep.
Yeah, literally.
So they do go through the paces we've been trained to put you in them sort of scenarios.
Because I think it's like, for me and the type of person that I am, I wouldn't say I'm similar to you, because obviously you're a Marine and I'm just a PT, but I just don't have that quit. So therefore I'd want to try and do something like that, because I would want to see how much I can give until I quit. But was there any stage of the process where you was like, do you know what?
Yeah.
I can go home.
So many, mate.
Is it?
Oh yeah, you get to points, and I can imagine a lot of Marines will say the same thing. You get to points where you're just like, this ain't for me. But it is that whole mind over matter.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the ethoses in the Marines. Like, you just got to keep your head in it. Like, your body could be in tatters, you know, can't take any more. But you just got to breaking that barrier in your mind and just pushing yourself through it. But yeah, there was definitely times where I thought, 'cause they'd have like a wagon, and say if you'd be marching for hours. The weight's ridiculous what you're carrying. You're carrying like another human plus. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's up to 80 kg or whatever.
Is that to condition you for if there is a soldier, or is that because you carry that anyway?
It's just generally all your kit that you carry with you. But for the Marines, it was more, they yomp a lot of miles, because it goes back to the Falklands. We beat the RGs by yomping 80 miles across the RG plains and defeating them. So it's it's very drilled into the Marines. But yeah.
Madness. So like, obviously you've done your 9 months of training.
Yeah.
Then what happens? Like, are you straight over into a war zone? Or?
Nah, so for me, I was only, so once you finish training, each Marine will go off to Leconfield, which is a driver training base, and you'll literally progress from having your car license and getting all your HGVs and lorry licenses. Because I was only 17, I went straight up to Scotland and found myself up there. And obviously, once you're out of that 9 months, it's a lot more relaxed state. Like, you're not, I mean, you're
training
still
to be a Marine.
You're not training, you're a Marine now, you know. It's mad though, because you're at the highest point of your life and you finish that training course and you become a Marine.
Talk to me about that feeling.
It's incredible. Like, you do, so at the end of training you do 4 major tests. You've got a 9-mile speed march, which is the first one, which is probably the easiest, which you have to complete with the troop and just keep up. It's very quick miles. The second one is the endurance course, which is, you know, when you see on the videos the guys throwing them through the water and grabbing them out. It's like that. It's like a grueling course around the moors in Exmouth, and then you finish it with a 4-mile run back to camp, and that's your second one. You've got to do it in something like 70 minutes. I can't remember. And you've got the Tarzan Assault course, which is the course that's built on camp. And you have to complete that in 12 minutes, which is a really tough course. And then the final one is your 30-miler across Dartmoor. And then so you do 30 miles. 30 miles with your rifle and your...
Ain't that more than a marathon?
Yeah. Up and down plains. Mate, it was hailing when we did it as well.
Because I didn't actually realise that. I thought it was sort of like you get to a point and then they're like, right,
yeah,
you're a Marine.
Yeah, no.
I didn't realise that you had to do the final test.
Yeah, so it's like it's called Commando test week. It's your 4 major tests. If you make it that far in training, those are your 4 tests. You pass all them, and you basically finish your 30 miler, and they hand you a green beret.
Yeah.
So mate, you're in.
Did you break down?
No, you don't really break down. You sort of, there's an immense amount of pride.
Yeah, fuck me.
I think there's more pride. I think you're very sort of headstrong at that point. You've got that far. Like, there was no way I wasn't completing it.
Yeah.
There was talk they'd scare you into people hitting a brick wall, sort of 20 miles, which blokes did.
Yeah.
You've got to like drag them through, but
yeah,
there's no way I wasn't getting it done at that stage.
So then you obviously get your green beret, go up to Scotland because you can't do.
Yeah, so they pick you one of the bases. Mine was Scotland.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went up there, and then it's just continuation training.
Yeah.
Continuation training until you find out you're going on somewhere. Like first place I deployed to was Norway.
Yeah.
I did 3 months in Norway, Arctic training.
Yeah.
That was tough. Like -30, -40. Just
fucking
yeah,
rough.
Yeah, very rough. Especially me, I feel the cold when
you sweat out.
Ginger skin, mate. It was through me. But and then it's just a case of, obviously at the time when I passed as well, obviously Afghanistan was going ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the tours were rolling out between the Marines, and then I think in 2011, so I passed out in 2009, and 2011 was the first tour for the Scotland unit when I was there to go on.
Yeah.
So once we found out about that, you do 6 months prior Afghan training before you actually go to Afghanistan.
Right. Okay. So it's like, so you find out quite a long way before.
Yeah, you sort of.
You go.
I couldn't tell you.
Keep talking.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. So obviously my memory's a bit jogged, but I'm pretty sure you find out sort of the year before, and then you'll be told, look, this is what we're going to be doing, 6 months training. And yeah, you'll do 6 months Afghan training before you actually head out there.
That's fucking. And talk to me, like, obviously there's a war going on, yeah?
Yeah.
Where's your head at? You've got the call to say, right,
yeah, we're going. I think for me, like, obviously, I was quite young, so, and it's mad to think it, but it's what everyone in the Marines wants to do. It's where your head is at. If you find out you're going to war, you want to go to war. It's why you train.
Yeah.
It's why you do. It's one of the reasons I left.
Right, okay.
Yeah, because for me, it's why I was in there. I know people might be different, but yeah, for me personally, I was buzzing when I found out I was going to Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Because you want that medal on your chest.
Yeah.
Everyone wants it. Like it's a big part of being in the Marines.
Yeah.
You see all these blokes, like sergeant majors now, like 20 years on, they're just dazzled with like medals.
Yeah. So it's like, because for me, obviously I've not gone through training, whatever. I'd feel an immense sense of pride.
Yeah.
But also, I would be absolutely shitting myself.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the pride side, 100%. You'd think you'd be shitting yourself, but I feel like your mindset's that. Yeah, you're conditioned. You're just drilled to be a soldier.
Yeah.
Like you're drilled through 9 months of your training. You're drilled in that 6 month period building up. You're just always away. You're doing stuff. You're in courses. It's just constant. So
that's all you know, basically.
Yeah, that's all you know. So your mind's fully focused on the task ahead.
Yeah.
So I don't think there was any nerves going in. I think it was more excitement.
And then you get there.
So I was actually, because I was 8, so our company at the time basically got shortened, and they turned around to me, I remember 2 weeks before going out, and said, look, Marine Simons, you're 18, you're getting another chance, you're not going out.
Yeah.
So I was obviously gutted. I was like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And they were like, look, we'll put you on the replacement list, but you're not going out, basically. Then I think within the first month, I was actually a battle casualty replacement.
Oh shit.
Someone who got blown up. I think they lost a leg. So I then replaced them in another company, in another section. So
at that point, yeah, you know you're going to replace someone that's lost their leg.
Yeah.
You're still buzzing.
Still buzzing. This is going to sound really bad, probably even more happier that I'm going out. I know it's a terrible reason to be replacing someone, but that's just how I felt. That was my mindset. I'd already sort of told people that was what I was doing. I was going there.
And how did your family react to you going?
I think my dad was buzzing for me. Like he's always been madly proud of me, but I think he was just happy for me and knew that I was doing what I was doing. I just think my mum on the other hand was just obviously shit scared, you know, like just a little boy. Like I wasn't old, like I went out there at 18.
100%. I'm 28, 29.
Yeah.
When I started jits, my mum started shitting herself that I was doing jits. You know what I mean? So I can't imagine what your mum's like going through.
Your 18-year-old boy's going to a war zone.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, I always say, like the news is always full of bad news because that makes good news. Yeah. So you only see the bad that's going on in a war. Not that there's going to be much good, but you're only going to see the amount of deaths or how shit it is. Do you know what I mean? It's never going to be like, oh well, today you're going on patrol and it's absolutely fine.
That's it. And like that's what I always say to people. Unless you've actually been there and witnessed it, it's hard to really comprehend or put it into perspective of what goes on out there.
Yeah.
I can tell you stories. Like I said, I'm always open to it, but unless you've been out there next to that bloke, it's hard to sort of explain.
So like, obviously you go out there. You spoke to me about this before, but you get into a firefight.
Yeah. So.
What are you thinking? Like, are you again still? I'm a Marine. I know what I'm doing. This.
Yeah, 100%. Like you're carrying quite a lot of weight when you're over there. So you've got 3 guys who carry. It's called ECM. It's like a bubble, like a signal that gets sent out around you.
Yeah.
So if the Taliban were to try and detonate something. Almost like that thing we use on Call of Duty.
Yeah,
the trophy system.
Like a magnetic pulse.
And it deters anything. So if the Taliban were around the corner about to set this device off, this would deter it. So 3 of you would carry them and they weighed a fair bit. You'd have a guy at the front with his metal detector, and then obviously all the rest of your kit. You'd go out on 2 patrols a day normally, unless you were sent out on an operation or a mission, which obviously did happen, but average it would be a patrol in the morning, a patrol in the evening, and then there'd be another troop in your section that would go out and do the same at different times. So you're on the ground most of the time, and if you weren't on the ground, you were patrolling your little.
See, I didn't even know that it was that full on. I thought it was like one troop goes one day, the next day there's another troop, the next day. So it's like maybe you do like 2 patrols a week. But it's literally like 2 a day.
2 a day.
Every day.
2 a day every day. But so you'd go out and you'd troop. And then obviously sometimes you go out, you just literally sit down, see the locals, have a tea with them or chai with them, you know, you make good relations with them, speak to the shearers and just make sure everyone was happy. Like the engineers sometimes came in and then schools would be built and all things like that, and we'd have to like cordon off the area. So a lot of good was going into the communities. Then obviously the other side of it is that once you start getting shot at, it's a whole different ball game. You know? I think for me, we had our first few months were quite quiet, and then it was around about the time that Osama bin Laden got killed. And I just remember all hell just broke loose. It was like the start of Ramadan or something, and just absolute mayhem. So the first actual firefight I got in was the one that I got basically shot across the hand. So it was just a mad experience.
Like. I just think that's mad, because, so I know the story, but if you can go into it, you're holding the gun to at your face,
pretty much.
And then,
so basically, I know the day, and it was August the 2nd, 6:15 AM. We'd just gone out on patrol. We'd probably gotten about 400 metres outside our little base. Walking in an open field, there's no cover, and just start getting shot at.
They say when you go on patrol, you can sort of sense something's up. Did you feel that then?
Sometimes it just felt a bit eerie, especially when you walk through open ground. You just thought, "Fuck, if we get shot here."
We're sitting ducks, sort of thing.
Fuck, you are sitting ducks, and that is pretty much exactly what happened. I think I was about 4th man, and pretty much we started getting shot from 2 Taliban in the distance. They were firing a PKM, so it's not even just like the normal rounds, it's the fucking
big old.
You know, you see them on Call of Duty. 7.62 rounds. So they started peppering us with them, and you just soldiering just goes. It's just natural reaction. You just sort of get into cover or whatever cover you have. I remember digging a little bit. You just get into cover, get into formation, and then just start firing back. I took 2 steps to the right, sort of clear myself a line, started firing back, and I must have put a few, because I was carrying the LMG, which is the light machine gun at the time, which is like, it's like, so do you know what the GPMG is? Like the general purpose machine guns, the big one you carry like that. So I had the smaller one of that. So it's like an automatic, so it's a sick weapon to fire. You can carry it, you can fire at the shoulder and just black rounds down. So I remember I took a few steps to the right, I think a few lads peeled that way, and we just started suppressing fire. And these, we couldn't see them, but they must have been on a roof line, or even just poking the gun through a hole, which is what they used to do a lot of the times. Because a lot of the times they wouldn't, you'd never see them.
So they're not even looking where they're just spraying bullets?
Yeah, we used to call it a shoot and scoop.
Right,
That was their like a shoot and scoop tactic. If they hit someone, lucky them, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously for us, it was lucky us that day. Like I was just weapon in hand, firing, moved a little bit, fired, and I think the 3rd time I fired, and this bullet's just gone. Like, there's bullets going around, but this one's just clipped.
Yeah.
My initial thought was, I've been fully shot.
Yeah, of course,
Because of the impact and how it hit, I was like, I didn't know how to. I've never been shot, so I don't know what the pain's supposed to be like to get shot.
Plus, as well, you're gonna have mad adrenaline going through it.
And this is it. So, obviously that happened, and I've just fucking gone to the ground, thinking, fuck, check myself over. As I'm checking myself over, I need to get down here. So I've gotten right down, looked, seen that it's just sort of grazed me, and then literally, like, there was a hole in my glove, and then there was a hole out my sleeve at the top. And obviously, as I'm firing, that's where it's hit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about 2 inches to the left. That's my head gone.
Yeah.
You know? But there wasn't even time to think, because at that point, the lad behind me, another Marine, got shot.
Yeah.
But he's got shot in the helmet, but he's gone flying back, so he's thought he's got shot. We ran over to him, and he's patting himself down because he's gone flying back.
Yeah.
He's been shot somewhere, and there's this bullet back in the centre of his helmet.
See, I think that's the maddest thing. Because I thought, if you get shot in the head, right, you're wearing a helmet, but it's going to do fuck all.
Nah, they look like, it's crazy. Even when I think about it now, I'm like, how lucky we were that day.
Isn't it?
Like, especially like for what happened to me, and then what happened to the guy behind me.
Because it is a matter of, for you, 2 inches to the left. For him, 2 inches lower.
Like,
God
was on our side that day, someone was looking down on us.
Don't that faze you at all? Like, do you not think like...
Yeah, like when I sit back and think about it, I'm like, fucking hell, like, how lucky am I?
Yeah.
Then I think about the blokes we've lost, and I just, and I just think that it's just pure luck, and I'm just obviously happy that I'm still here.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, we sort of there was a funny moment though, which the lad who was in charge, he was a corporal that I was in training with him at the time.
Yeah.
He was my corporal in Afghanistan, and he said all he remembers from that moment is this little squeaky Bristol accent going, "Corporal, we think I've been shot."
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I've been shot. This is all he remembers.
It must be mental.
Yeah.
But like, you spoke to me before about hearing that there's been a firefight or whatever, and you're back at camp.
Yeah.
Your reaction isn't, fucking hell, I'm glad I weren't involved in that one.
Yeah.
It's more of a...
you want to be in it.
Yeah.
It's mad to think it, because like you said, it's the adrenaline.
Yeah.
The adrenaline takes over. All the kit you're carrying weighs nothing. You might as well be, do you know what I mean? You're a walking feather.
Yeah.
You could go and sprint 100 metres. And it's mad how much it hits you.
Fuck me.
Like, so for me at that point, obviously when that happened to us, we just literally got round the corner into cover.
Yeah.
It was pretty much chase them down.
Yeah.
We're gonna have these, yeah.
Is that like?
And
is that instilled in the mentality of the Marines?
Yes.
Or is that a personal decision that you and that troop made?
It was, I'd say it's instilled, but at the same time, we sort of, as we regrouped, it was, we've just come out on patrol, we've just been shot at.
Here we go.
Just had a lucky experience, like we're gonna see this through.
Yeah.
I think we chased them down for about a good 2-3 hours, maybe more. Just bounding forward, doing all our drills. You have a team that sits and suppresses fire, and you have another team that flanks.
Yeah.
To try and capture them. Like, obviously send grenades in.
Yeah.
So you've got like grenade launchers on the end of our thing. You've got to sort of get a pinpoint. And then eventually an American Apache got called in, which is the
massive chopper.
It's the massive choppers, but it's also like their best fighting chopper.
Right. Okay.
With the rockets and the
yeah.
ones that propel the big rounds. So, and anyway, after chasing them down for a good few hours, honestly, like I can literally envision this. This is like one of the maddest moments of my life. Like this helicopter, we're on a bun line, so just trying to set the scene. We're like on a little ridge of a hill.
Yeah.
There's 4 of us. We're suppressing fire to basically where they're pinpointing from the sky as they're coming in, and the drones we've got and everything's set up, the satellites, and where the targets are. So and as we're doing that, we've got another team of 4 peeling round to try and get closer.
Yeah.
And yeah, just all I can recall, all I remember is this Apache helicopter just comes over our head. I'm not even joking, like a couple of 100 meters, probably 100, 200 meters above our head. You see the rockets come out.
Yeah.
And you just
hear it.
Yeah, you just like hellfire basically. It's like some out of Call of Duty, like
yeah.
It's mad, like, and then
real life warzone.
And then it all goes a bit quiet, and the next minute another gun comes down. And it's just like just rapid fire.
And are they literally straight over and gone, or are they just coming back?
Nah, I think they literally got eyes on the target.
Yeah.
We chased this target down for 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
They come in, guns down, bop bop bop, off they go.
And do the British and the American forces work that closely together then?
Yeah.
It's like we've got a problem here.
Yeah, I think at the time it would have gone. I don't know obviously the full story behind that side of it, but obviously at the time it would have been our corporal on the ground would have spoke to back at base would then spoke, and it probably would have been that they were the closest helicopter by.
Yeah.
And it was a case of obviously the Apaches are the fastest ones in the air as well, so yeah, they would have just come straight in, and it was literally just
honestly mental.
In and out, job done, and then obviously after we then, because we're on the ground, deal with the aftermath of it.
Which is what?
Pretty much going in, finding out that they'll give you a grid reference of where the bodies are.
Yeah.
You'll then go in basically and identify the bodies, secure the area off.
Yeah.
Make sure there's none running off.
Yeah.
Just do all your standard drills.
And I obviously don't know, but I don't think that I would react too badly if I was to see a dead body.
Nah.
Because I am very aware that death is a part of life. Yeah. When you're seeing a dead body in the flesh, though, how do you feel about that?
Absolutely fine. It's mad. It's hard to explain, but at the time, it's you or them.
Yeah.
It is literally you or them. So they've shot at you. They've nearly killed me.
Yeah.
We're gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And that is your mentality.
Yeah.
You've killed my mate. You've shot my mates. You're gonna get killed. It's brutal to think of it like that, but that's just the way it was at war.
100%. I mean.
So there was no like sense of anything towards them. It was more just the one word I can say was what me and the boys used to say. It's like a trophy.
Yeah.
Because you've got them before they've got you.
Yeah. 100%.
That's 2 more Taliban terrorists dead.
And they're not gonna obviously take any more of your mates' lives.
So, so there's a bit of sense of achievement in it.
Yeah.
In some respect, and now like it never phased you.
No.
Like the locals would come in, obviously they'd do a proper burial for him because that's the Muslim way. So
what are the locals like, and how do they receive?
They understand.
Yeah.
Like, obviously they speak another language, but we always have an interpreter with us.
Yeah.
They understand the situation. They know we're there to help them. Obviously they'll have us helping them, but if they're then seen talking to us, it could not work in their favour because the Taliban would come around late at night and beat them with sticks. It used to happen.
Yeah.
They used to turn up outside of our base, and like if they were seen talking to us, they'd come and get beaten that night.
Fucking hell.
So it's like it was hard for them because they wanted
to help,
right by them, wanted to help, but at the same time they were shit scared of the Taliban.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's fucking mad. So like, obviously, how long was your tour?
6 months.
You come into the end of your tour. Have you got anxiety about coming home?
Not anxiety. I think The one thing I did, which I regretted doing, was spoke to my parents on the phone about me nearly getting shot.
Yeah.
And it was in the August, and I was coming home in the October.
Yeah.
So I was coming home in 2 months, and looking back, I wish I never told them on the phone that it happened. Because obviously that sent them into a bit of a spiral, which it would.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously.
But for you, it's like you said, it's like a exciting experience.
Yeah, for me, it was adrenaline, excitement. Spoke to them on the phone. I was like, tried to play it down. I was like, look, don't worry, like, I'm fine. But this happened. Which I didn't think at the time. You tell your parents you've just maybe been shot.
Yeah.
You can imagine what's going to be going through their mind. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Well, they're going to be thinking a little bit of that. Even before you've gone out there. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. It's probably bad enough that I'm in a war.
Yeah, exactly.
So so I think that's the one thing I regret, is actually telling them 2 months before the end that had happened, because I know it sent my dad into a bit of a spiral. Not in like a bad sense. I know it just, his head went.
He didn't have like the comfort of. It was sort of made it real that you could.
And that's exactly what it was, and that was his words. He was like, it just hit him.
Yeah.
And same with my mum. Like, I think it hit all my family a bit. They just wanted me home safe. But
well, I remember when I met you. You know what I'm like. I'll just say whatever's on my mind.
Yeah.
But I was like scared to even ask you about it.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, because it's fucking mental. Like, you don't know how. You obviously hear. Something that really surprised me about you was like, you obviously hear when people like leave the Marines or leave the armed forces, they do really suffer with like mental health issues. So I didn't really want to be like, oh, heard you got shot, and you're like, well, actually, I'm really struggling with my mental health, and I have nightmares about the war or whatever. But obviously, as I've got to know you, I know that your mindset is just like, as I said at the start, it's like pretty bulletproof. But a lot of people do go down the route where they lose their identity, their purpose. Like, obviously you've had more exposure of that. Like, since I've known you, you've had a couple of mates that have unfortunately taken their lives from that setting. What's it like transitioning?
It is a hard transition. I think for me personally, I think I'm quite mentally strong in that respect. Like, I've always had a good family around me, a good group of people, always been headstrong. It was my decision to leave. But it's like you brushed on it, the purpose side of it is massive. Yeah. Like, guys will leave after doing X amount of tours in Afghanistan, straight from school, same as me. Yeah. All they've been as a soldier, been in war zones, and then leaving it is you just lose that purpose. You're in this, almost like a club. Yeah. And you're thrown out into the world, and people, they do just suffer in different ways. Because
I don't imagine that being a Marine feels like a job. No. It's just a way of life.
And that is exactly it, It's just, it's like a brotherhood. It's like it's a big band of brotherhood. Like, and just once that's taken away from you and you're put in civilian street and you're expected to go to a 9 to 5 or whatever job, it is that whole transition, and it can just affect people in different ways.
Because I think, like, not only have you lost that tight-knit family, you're then being told by Margaret or Roger what the fuck you need to be doing 9 to 5.
Yeah, and that is it.
Where you've been shot at in a war zone, like, how did like, obviously from you coming back out into a normal job, how do you wrap your head around that? Or how do you get over not the constant brotherhood? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think, for me, because I was mindset on leaving, the transition for me was quite smooth. I remember going into a normal job though, and something happened, and I don't know if I bit back in a way that I shouldn't have, but it wasn't seen appropriate on the outside. And I got in trouble for it. Yeah. Whereas for me, that was something I'd say in the Marines, it was normal. Yeah. And then it clicked for me. I was like, fuck, I can't behave like that. You know, I can't do things like that.
The transitioning period, was it quick for you? Because as I say, like, mindset now, I'm real. But coming out of the Marines, was you lost for a period of time? Obviously, you've come to Australia since.
Yeah.
Like, was that a big, like, oh, I need to sort of, not find myself, because that's fucking cringe, but, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I need something new in my life to, like, a new beginning.
Yeah,
that's also
100%.
cringe.
Yeah, I always knew, my parents always said to me when I was young, like, you'll outgrow this town. Like, where I sort of grew up, it's a small town north of Bristol. Like, you're going to outgrow this, you'll never be here.
Yeah.
And they were right. And I think once I'd gone home and spent a year at home, it hit me again. I was like, I want to go away, I want to travel. And now I've got the freedoms that I didn't have in the Marines. Obviously with the Marines, it's great, you travel the world, you see everything, and you do this and that, but you're very much, I don't know how to put it, but like schooled almost. Like You've only got certain periods off. You get your summer, your Easter, and your Christmas. Like, if you're not away at that time, you don't even get that off. And then you're only getting your weekends off, so you're very much, there isn't a lot of freedom in that sense. You can't just go and book a festival, you can't just go you know?
But that's enforced discipline, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would you say that's sort of carried over? Because, like, for me, I think you're an absolute psychopath in the sense that you go for like 5 and 10Ks every night. Yeah. Do you think that just is because it was just such a habit for you?
Just drill into you. Yeah, 100%. Like, you just sort of, it's just your mindset and the way you're sort of, especially for me, like straight from school.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know any different. So yeah, it's just like built into my character now, and that's why I still continue that sort of level of fitness. And I think like a level of professionalism, like the way I am and the way I go about things, like my mindset now is even from like, I think from when I left Afghanistan, my whole like perception and everything just changed. Like the way I saw things and the way other people saw things, it was just completely different.
So I've actually noticed like a few times I've been around you, like don't get me wrong, you don't make me feel uneasy or anything, but I'll complain about something.
Yeah.
And then after I've complained, I'll be like, in your head, you're probably thinking that is so trivial, like that really don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, how do you, because that must be hard as well, because you're probably, people are talking around you or whatever, and in your head, not you're switching off, but you're like, you're literally moaning about this.
And that is exactly how I feel. Like someone would be moaning about something and I'd be like, that does not even matter. But that's only because of what I've been through, what I've seen.
Yeah.
But to that person, that's a big deal to me. About. I just couldn't.
You can't fathom it.
Yeah, I couldn't fathom it. I'd just be like, what? And even to like this day in like past relationships and certain things, someone would be moaning, I'd be like, what are you moaning about?
Yeah.
And I still have that same mindset now where I don't let things get me down too much, and when people moan, I don't want to hear it.
It's almost 100%.
It's not a big deal, you know.
Like I'd definitely say that about your personality. It's very much like you don't really seem fazed about anything. Like you're very in control of your emotions, and I don't think I've ever seen you lose your head. No. I don't think I've ever seen you waver from any point. Like you're just you're honestly like you're just so
And till I get a drink down here.
Yeah, exactly. Like for me, it is well fascinating. Like obviously, I've had my battles with mental health and that, so I am intrigued by people where I'm like, fuck, that level of stability is like desirable, or not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting at home with a textbook Matt Simon's like, what does he do? But it does.
What does he think?
Yeah, exactly. It is like intriguing to me because, as I say, like I don't think any situation has really shown you stress. Like I don't want to get into it too deep, but you obviously got some bad news from back home last week. But even the way you dealt with that, it was sort of like you took the information in, dealt with it on your own, and then sort of just opened up to me and Bennett about it. But it was sort of like, in a way, it was like, don't worry boys, I'm alright, but this has happened.
Yeah.
Which
I think for me, I find it hard to get very sad and upset about things. Not like I don't get upset about things, we all do, but like you said then, like I sort of process it, it's happened. Not we need to move on, but my mind changes. Like I was probably quiet for that one night, and I just can't be that person who's just, I don't want to sit around, I can't like mope, and obviously I'll grieve, and everyone does it in different ways. But for me, yeah, I'd like to just keep my mind
ticking and
positive
moving.
Side of things if I can.
And do you think that was you like that before the Marines, or do you think that, like, obviously the Marines has advanced your mindset, but was you just a really positive person before, or do you think it's like because you've been exposed to the end of life so much that now you're like, I need to make the most of all of life?
And that is exactly it. Like, it's hard to say if it's what I was like before, because I was only like sort of 15, 16, but I think more, the big change for me was Afghanistan, definitely. I know I keep saying it, but that was when my mind sort of changed. The whole, like, not letting little things get to me, and obviously things still bother me or whatever, but I've got a different way of dealing with it now, you know? And as I'm getting older, and I think back, and I even think about things I've done in the past, and I'm like,
what a stupid way to react.
Yeah, what a stupid way to react, because you just become more mature to it.
And those reactions in the past, like I even know with myself, obviously I've not been exposed to what you have, but I look at how I reacted when I was younger in relationships or whatever, and I'm like, you're a fucking knobhead. Like, you.
Why'd you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
But you gotta learn from them, haven't you? You know.
Had a few questions through. The one that come up the most was obviously now with everything that's going on in Afghanistan. I know you've had a couple of people say a few things to you which you maybe don't agree with too much. Like, what are your views? Because I think it's for people that, for example, like a sofa fan, they can say, oh, fucking, why are we going back there? We've lost all those soldiers for nothing, la 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 la. Yeah.
And that's what was said to me. I'm going to be honest, I haven't read too much into the news. I only know what probably everyone knows, which is the basic, which is that the Taliban has come into Kabul, taken over Afghanistan, just at the time where Biden's withdrew the troops, US troops, and obviously now they've got control. But yeah, the comments I've had made to me, which they're very naive comments, is people turn around and say to you, oh, well, it was all for nothing, mate, wasn't it? Yeah. All that time you spent, how do you feel about it? It was all for nothing. That for me doesn't even warrant a reply. Like, we were in Afghanistan for 20 years. So much good in that 20 years was done. They had their freedom for 20 years. We built schools, we helped towns, we kept Taliban away. People died, you know? Men suffered, women suffered, but we kept it together. So when someone makes a comment like that to me, there's no response. I think if you're going to say things like that, it's just naive.
Because I think as well, like, in a naive way again, it's sort of saying, well, some of your troop died for nothing. Or whatever, and they're like your brothers.
And that's it. Like I said, that's why it just doesn't even warrant a response. I think for the American side where they've pulled out, this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but if Trump was in charge, would that have happened?
Absolutely not.
Would Kabul now be run by Taliban? I don't think so. Would he have let that slip into their hands? I don't think so. I just think people have their opinion about him, they believe what the media say and everything like that, but he would have got the job done. 100%. And now look at it. You know?
It does, like, obviously, I'm exactly the same as you. I only know the top level shit that's going on there. But it just seems a bit mad, do you know what I mean? Like, but I think that, like you say, it's just very disrespectful for people to act like the service you gave was for nothing. I want to wrap it up. I already know the answer because from your experience it sounded like you absolutely loved it. Would you do your time again? And if you did, would you do it differently? Like, say for example, they're short of Marines to go to Afghan now, would you put your hand up?
100%.
I
think for me, with Afghan stopping, and I know this with a lot of lads, it's one of the reasons blokes left. Because you just continuation training, and you just want...
Again, the purpose is gone.
You want to go out to war, you want to get your medal and all this. So, if they said, Afghanistan, let's do a tour, I'd probably say probably put my hand up. Looking back, I wouldn't change a thing. I loved every minute I was in there. But for me, the timing that I left was because I wanted these sort of different freedoms. the wars had stopped, and in my head it was get out while you're younger and get a trade or an experience in another sort of job or role, rather than sort of sit around till I'm my age now, 28, 29, and then come out, because that's when I can see it can affect you even harder. Well, I'm not saying you can't go out and get a qualification.
No, 100%. But like, say for my own mental health, a lot of it was like I was 25, 26. Like when I was 16, I was thinking, oh, by the time I'm 25, 26, I'm going to have a missus, I'm going to have a house, I'm going to have 3 kids. Do you know what I mean? So the older you are, I can see where the pressures of society make you think that, what the fuck have I done with my life? Yeah. Which, obviously, for yourself and other Marines is a fucking lot, do you know what I mean? But to go from that to restarting, it is fucking daunting.
It is.
But I think we'll wrap it up there, mate.
Yes,
honestly. That's like one of my favourite chats.
It's good chat,
Sick. Thanks for coming on.
Nice one, guys.